Hello, my lovely manifestors. Thank you so much for joining me for another Tarot Tuesday. So, a few weeks ago, we started this tradition, which I'm loving. I don't know how the people who are coming on getting readings feel about it, but I really
Oh my
love.
God.
I really love this new tradition of doing tarot readings on Tuesdays. So, if this is your first time, each Tuesday I come on and first give a general message for the room, and then I have an amazing guest with me to receive a live reading on camera. So this week I am privileged and honored to have with me Miss Ashlan motherfucking Ray. How you doing,
Hey,
bro?
girl, I was just saying, you was like, you don't know how these people feel. I'm like, Lord have mercy.
I just, for me, I feel good, but it's also
Right,
not my
right.
business being put out there. So, how are you feeling?
I'm good. I'm good. That's a good fucking day in Zamunda.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay, very good. So I'm going to go ahead and just share this out with some folks. We want to make sure that anyone who wants to be part has an opportunity to do so. And you can feel free to share this with your tribe as well. If you are watching, please go ahead and share this out, like and share. And
So for me to share it, what group am I in to share it from?
I'm sorry, this is broadcasting live on my business page.
Oh, okay. Awesome.
Yes, ma'am. Alrighty. So now that we got this shared out, we will get started. So, before I start on today's reading, I first want to address a lot of us have been feeling some real fucked up energy for the past few days. Up to the last week or so. So, want to kind of address what's been going on there and then talk about some things you can do. And then we're going to get started on seeing what Miss Ashlyn has to reveal. So, again, a lot of people have been feeling some of this new moon energy. And with this coming into this new moon season, it's been bringing up a lot. This really has been a time of releasing pain and suffering. And as a result of that, it's been pulling up a whole lot of pain and suffering. And so, if you've been noticing that you're feeling kind of low, feeling a little depressed, having trouble releasing some things that you thought you had already worked through, understand that a lot of that is from this full moon energy, or I'm sorry, from this new moon energy. The great thing, though, is that the new moon is an amazing time to release the things that don't serve you and to call it unto you the things that you want to attract. And so the new moon cycle started on Sunday, and up to normally, about 2, 3 days after that, we still have that really powerful energy. Coming out of the new moon, we then go into a waxing moon, which is the time to give power to your manifestation. So I encourage you to set your clear intention and then put power behind that, put your action behind that so you can see it come into your life. So, doing just a quick reading for the group and specifically looking at some tips for things that you can do for this week, again, to release the things that don't serve you and really call unto you the things that you want to attract. Okay, so interestingly enough, the card that comes up is the Six of Cups. And I actually did a group reading. Hey there, Mocha. Thanks for hopping on. So I actually did a group reading on my page and I had people choose the cards that spoke to them. And so this one actually came up last weekend. And it's a reminder that a lot of times we're stuck in the past and we're looking at times when things may have been a little easier. But I encourage you not to get stuck in that space of regret And so when you're looking in the past and you're looking and examining these things specifically with this new moon energy and with all of this nasty shit that is in the atmosphere, you want to make sure that you're still staying present and looking at your purpose. So even if you are examining the pain that happened, even if you are examining some things that may have worked out then and it seems like things aren't working out the way you want now, make sure that you're looking at your power and your purpose. You also want to make sure that you are giving from your overflow. One thing that always strikes me about this card, I always think of givers when I see this card. And so often we're giving from this place of obligation. After a while, it really feels like it's simply what we're supposed to do. And so I encourage you, if you are a healer, a coach in a service profession, that you really use this time to pour into your own cup. Again, as we're setting these intentions, make sure that you are setting powerful intentions to fill you first so you then can pour from your overflow. So that's what I have for you for this week. And we're going to go ahead and get started with Ashlan. So,
Oh, I thought that was my reading.
Oh no, boo. This was just kind of,
this is easy.
No, never that easy. So, that's just kind of a general message for the group and anyone watching. So now we are going to get going on you, Miss Lady. And first of all, okay, so if you have had a reading with me, they are really not that scary. Ash, you've done a reading with me before. So it's funny though, because the last few days when I've been doing readings, people keep saying it's stuff that they just wrote down. So I don't know. So hopefully you haven't been writing down anything too crazy recently. Before we get started, do you have any specific questions you want answered?
Well, not specifically. No.
Okay.
I don't think so. Mm-mm.
Very good. So we will do a general reading. Can you pick a number for me, please?
How many numbers? Like, how is it a limit on?
It's a number that, just pick a number, whatever number comes up for you, honey.
Oh, 13.
I promise you, homie, I knew the fuck you were about to say 13, yo. Because I was about to say a number that I can count to, and I was like, nah, it's cool. She's going to say 13, and I'm going to just make it a 4. I promise you. Wow. Okay. So I love that we're already nice and in tune here.
Ow.
So, which we always are. If you guys know anything about Ash or me, you already know I love me some Ashlan motherfucking Rae. So, definitely glad to see that we are on the same page. So,
my thing. I'm sorry.
Interesting. Okay. So I just, did a few card pulls, and the first thing that's coming up for me is the Page of Swords crossed by the Fool. And so these are actually, the Fool is one of my favorite cards. So I'm going to get into each of those individually, but together what I'm seeing is that you are in a new time of exploration. Like there was a moment where your action almost felt stagnated, but now you're in a space where you're looking at things with fresh eyes, and you're kind of on this new journey of discovery. I feel like almost kind of getting in touch with the love for what you do again. So particularly I say that because with the Fool card, it represents a journey. And if you look at the Fool, he is walking out into the world almost oblivious to what's ahead of him. And in some ways that can be, not very healthy. At the same time, so the Fool is the first card of a tarot deck. If you guys do readings with me, I explain everything. So the Fool is the first card of a tarot deck, and the tarot deck is essentially the Fool's journey, his journey to enlightenment. And so while, yes, it may seem like he's oblivious to the journey and to the dangers ahead of him, he's also innocent. He has this youthful exuberance that doesn't allow him to get bogged down by other people's opinion of the dangers. And so, yes, there may be dangers, but he's not concerned with the dangers that everybody's warning him about. He's able to look at life through his own eyes. He's not scorned. He's not bitter by other people's experience. And so one thing that I see here is definitely make sure that as you are moving forward, that you are fully using your discernment, that you are listening to all of the messages that are coming up for you, and that you're honoring that space within yourself. At the same time, do you, boo. Like, this is your time to shine. The world is your oyster. And it really is a time for you to explore. I feel like everything is kind of up in the air right now. Everything is open to change. If it doesn't fit in flow, then it got to go. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So the next card, the card that was crossing, is the Page of Swords. So with the page, swords represent action. And so one thing that I see with the page, I mean, you see the clouds around him. And again, it's kind of like he is elevated above these issues that previously had been hindering you. Even looking at, and of course there's perspective in this card, but even looking at the trees, and it looks like there's, a lot of wind happening, maybe a storm, but he's almost elevated above that. And he has his sword up, ready for action. And so I feel like you, again, are really in this space where you're just in this newness of action. Also taking into account the full moon or the new moon. I don't know why I keep saying full. This is a really, really great time for you to take action, in the direction of new dreams. I keep hearing newness. So I'm not sure. I know you have some new programs coming out, and some new things, but it seems like, a whole lot is about to shift. And things that you've been doing simply because you felt that you had to, you're finding a way to really carve your own space and again, get fully in flow. Yes. Does that make sense for you?
Yes.
Okay.
Very much.
So interestingly enough, so the card that shows in your goals and desires position, and having spoken with you, I know this one to be true. It's the Six of Swords. And so the first thing I see with this is I just want to get away and do nothing. And so I definitely see a journey of sorts, but combining that with the next card that shows up in your recent past, which is the Hangman, I'm more so seeing it as a reminder to go within for the answers, which I feel like you have been doing. And I feel like that's one reason that you have kind of been in this space of new energy, is because you have been only going to yourself for the answers and kind of, chucking deuces to other people's opinions.
That shit feels so good.
Yes. Continue to do so. You have within you, and I know that you know this, you have within you everything that you need to make your dreams happen. Go within. There's a lot that you've been questioning. And I feel like you're kind of coming out of this space of questioning things, but there's a lot that you had been questioning. Interestingly enough, so the card that's showing in the distant past, and for you, I'm feeling like this is not so distant, probably several months, is the Ace of Swords. So again, we keep seeing swords show up here.
I got a lot of swords.
You have a lot of swords. And so it's a time of major action. And I feel like the last several months were kind of you gathering your strength, gathering your tools, gathering what you needed. And now it's time for you to put those into action towards your dream. And so with the Ace of Swords, I'm seeing it as almost like God has been handing you what you need. For some reason, the scripture, my grace is sufficient, is coming up. His grace is sufficient for you. Know that you're amazing, Ash. Like, you are dope, but you don't have to be everything. And you are almost being given the keys to the kingdom to do what you need to do because your calling is so major and there's lives to change, but know that it's not in your own strength. And sometimes when it starts feeling really heavy, it's because you're forgetting that you don't have to do it all and it's not only in your strength. You have been given the sword. You've been given what you need to take action.
Oh my God. So just last night, I just fucking wrote that I've been knighted. Like,
yes, that's exactly what I see it as. Yes.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
Yes, ma'am. So you have been dubbed and knighted, darling. You have what you need. So take action on what you know. The card that's showing in the future position, and I'm really more so seeing this as a warning for what not to do, is the Queen of Pentacles. And what I'm seeing this as, understand that on this entrepreneurial journey, of course, we have ups and downs with money. Pentacles represent security. And if you look at the way she's examining her card, it's almost like she's longing for something that's not there, or she's very focused. All of her attention is focused on this pinnacle. Understand that money is not your security. And you know I say this all the time, money is just access. Money is not your security. And there's some things that you're being called to that the money may not immediately appear. Understand that as long as it's in flow, you can give a full yes. The money. So funny enough, so I literally just saw what is that that meme or that GIF, right?
Yes,
with the making the money rain, exactly. So money is all around you, but it's almost like it's gotten a little bit too much focus, and so as you can release the focus on the money and take away some of the power that it's been given, it is automatically going to start flowing to you. Again, looking back at all these swords that keep coming up, what I'm hearing is simply do your part. Do what you know you've been called to do.
Okay, so that's kind of been happening, sort of. Like, I've been slowly letting go of the number and just saying, well, I don't give a fuck. I'm going to do what I got to do and let the chips fall where they may, kind of. Not that I have let it go all the way. I still think about it, but I understand what you're saying.
Okay,
or like, okay, as long as I'm doing the shit that I'm supposed to be doing, then, and then when I mean supposed to be, I don't mean like my daily task. I mean like the shit that's calling me to do what I'm supposed to be doing. So, okay.
And of course, you've taken my manifestation class. So, one thing we talk about is taking that inspired action. And so, and I know that you've been doing an amazing job of staying in flow and taking inspired action towards your dreams. And so that's what I mean, is really doing your part and letting the rest work itself out. And also understanding what your part is and what God's part is. Like, so I feel like even though, yes, you have been dubbed and knighted, you still only have a certain function and role within that. Know your role and only do your role. Let God handle the rest. Okay. So I feel like you've been kind of at odds with someone. And it's been someone, I feel like it's surrounding a lack of support or a lack of understanding. Like I'm hearing that you felt unheard. I feel like there's going to be a reconciliation. So I'm not sure who this person is, but they've almost been an obstacle in your business. And I feel like it's someone close to you, but it's been an obstacle in you taking this action and you moving forward. And I actually feel like they owe you an apology. Be open to receive it. Be open to, yeah, be open to that communication. Um, okay, so I just pulled a few more cards. So first, does that one make sense?
Yeah, but I don't know if it's just, is it just one person or is it two or?
That I don't
You
know.
don't know. Okay.
I just,
But yes,
there is reconciliation that needs to happen, and I feel like they hurt you very deeply for some reason. And I'm finding myself biting my tongue here, but I'm feeling like it's family. And I'm feeling like it's someone who you have expected to show up for you emotionally. So when I talk about support, I'm talking about cups represent emotions, right? So when I talk about support, it's more an emotional support, and they haven't really shown up for you.
right.
But I feel like things are about to come full circle, and there's some apologies to be had. Um, Interesting. So the card that shows in the next position is the death card. Now, everybody who's running and scared, let me say, um, death is not a bad thing. This actually is one of my favorite cards, and this is the card that's showing in your environment, which actually makes sense because so the first card was the Fool, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so we're talking about this newness and starting a new journey. And for new beginnings to happen, we have to have an ending. And so I'm feeling like in your environment, it's almost the end of a lot of cycles that you've been holding on to. Funny enough, the card number is 13, which is the number you picked, right?
Right.
So um it seems like in your environment there's a lot that's been happening that's kind of ending some cycles, ending some relationships, ending some even as it relates to business. I feel like ending some patterns that you made acceptable.
Girl, it's a whole lot of death
Um,
going on over here right now.
right. And so know that, I mean, you're exactly where you're supposed to be. And yeah, some things have to end for some new things to begin. Again, if it's not in flow, it got to go.
No, it's girl.
Um, so the last card that's showing up, and again, I'm sure that you can imagine what suit this is. We have swords yet again. Um, and so we have the Eight of Swords. And one thing that I always find really interesting about this card is that she's surrounded by swords, homie. Like, I mean, she has all the swords at her
That's my
disposal.
squad, son. Gang, gang.
Right. Yes, this is Brown Girls Billionaire Gang. But she's surrounded by swords. She's surrounded by this power, but she's bound and she's blinded, and it's almost like she's unaware of her power and her ability to take action. And because of that, it's keeping her bound and locked. And so know that, just like with this Ace of Swords, you have been dubbed and knighted, darling. Know that you have everything you need at your disposal to make, like, you've been called for some major things, Ashlan. And I know that you know this. You've been called for some major things, but I feel like sometimes you wonder if you have what it takes to fulfill the calling. You have everything that it takes, more than you need.
Sometimes it seems like shit just got out of control. Like it just took on a life of its own, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, like you ask for it, you do the work, you get it, and then you get it, and then you start seeing it happen, and you're like, holy shit! Like you got to step up, but it doesn't seem like you can, but it's hard to. I don't know. It's just this weird back and forth,
Absolutely. And the thing is, so this cycle of death and things ending, I feel like even that is part of that ending, is ending that cycle. And it's so funny to think of Ashlan Rae playing small, but Ashlan Rae has been playing small because there's some things that you've been called to do that, like you said, it shows up in you feel inadequate. And I don't think it's in the sense of shrinking away, because I feel like, you ain't never been a punk, never shrink from an opportunity, but it's also been not pursuing certain opportunities because you're not sure if you can fill the shoes. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So know that, again, all around you, you have, like, there's nothing. The only thing keeping you bound, the only thing holding you prisoner is you. And, again, and I realize, especially like with people like us who have these amazing dreams, and people are like, how are you playing small? You know what I'm talking about. Like, and I feel like almost the playing small has been to fit in with people who are not on your level. Know that
I've been doing that shit my whole life, real talk.
Yeah, you don't need to fit in. Like, you set the bar and the standard, and the people that you need around you will be at the level you need them to be to fully support you in the ways that you need it. So that is what I have for you today. Any questions or thoughts about your reading?
So most recently, y'all know I always say that I'm not a business coach. Although I teach a lot of business strategy and stuff like that, I'm not a business coach. And the reason that I'm the bullshit bully is because I do not take no for an answer. I do not take prisoners. This shit is love me or get the fuck out the way. And that came from just my life experience. I wrote about it today, actually. My life experience trying to fit in, trying to like bring myself down so that people can like relate to me, because I'm usually so far away from most people that they can't even fathom the shit that I dream about. And so I was trying to like bring myself down to where the people think they need to be, to like bring them back up. You know what I'm saying? And I love the business stuff that I do. But in all honesty, they don't call me the pastor for nothing, because my true calling is not teaching you how to motherfucking market on Facebook. It's not teaching you how to fucking write a blog post. It is like letting you know, like, you got to stop bullshitting and get the fuck up and do. Like, everybody be like, oh, I'm a perfectionist. I'm paralyzed by this. I'm scared. I'm this, I'm that. And it's like, it's so much more. It's deeper than that. It's more than that. And you ain't got to do nothing but step out these doors one motherfucking time to see that you are so much greater than what you think. And so, okay. Yeah. Anyway. That's what it is. So yeah, it's this weird, I'm in this weird like situation where I'm trying to like, I still want to teach business stuff, especially with my one-on-one clients and stuff. But honestly, when we get together and I help them build their movement, it's not about their business at all. It's about who the fuck they are and what they represent to the world. And so I have to like slide that in to the, to my followers and stuff and my audience and stuff, so that they don't get too far off track, because they feel like, oh, well, I'm not, doing a landing page, so I must not be, you know what I'm saying, doing what I'm supposed to do. So I think that's the struggle. And then that deaf shit, girl. The exes I've been friends with for 75 years, them bitches got to go. They had to go. And then also what you said about me being bound by my business. Like, I love my business model. I love my track stars. I love my gang members. But I do feel like I have to let them go and walk on their own. I cannot babysit them. They're not going to get what they need if I have to babysit them every step of the way. They got to make their own fucking decisions. And so, but that causes me to have to be like tough, even though I look tough and I sound tough and I will drag a bitch, I still am very compassionate. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm real compassionate for my people. And so it hurt me to have to tell them no, to be perfectly fucking honest with you. But I have to set some boundaries for myself, or I'm going to be fucking, tired, insane, broken, homeless. So, but yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
So yeah, it was on point. It was on point.
Very good. Well, thank you for this opportunity, and thank you so much for sharing and being open to whatever came out.
I was sure.
Yes, I'm sure, honey. So if you have been watching, and I see some folks have popped on, so hey there, Rashida. Hey, Maya. I see Shishi or Shay Shay. I hope I didn't mess up your name, honey. Carlos,
Her name is
Angel, and
Sheena.
Mocha. What was that?
Her real name is Sheena, so
Okay, so probably Shishi.
that's what I was thinking.
Okay, good.
Hey,
Hopefully.
girl.
Hey, boo. How you doing? So if you have been watching and you want a reading for yourself, today is Tarot Tuesday in my group. So be sure to join Mastering Manifestation, and I have a coupon code for you to get 50% off of readings today only. So be sure to join Mastering Manifestation Facebook group. It's a free group, and there's a coupon code in there for you to sign up to get 50% off of a reading if you book today. So thank you again for watching. Thank you so much, Ashlan. It is always a pleasure, honey. And I will be back on tomorrow, actually, for Power and Purpose. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.
Bye.